Hey, guess what doesn't seem to work with this version? Yeah, they just flow right through. Fun. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Monotonous Minecraft, episode 59. We're heading way over here. Today we are going to finally build a passive mob farm I've been talking about here and there since, really the first time I spent any time in this corner. For some reason, a lot of mobs seem to spawn out here. They always have. A lot of passive mobs, I should say. They always have. And I might as well take advantage of that since I've been spending so much time over here AFKing at the gold farm. So it's going to be fairly basic. First idea I ever had for it was based on, I want to say, one of the Impulse and Skizzleman's Skyblock episodes where Skizz built it and then Impulse improved it. I'm not sure this is going to be a great design, but it's going to be my design. So it's going to be... So they have to spawn on grass, but I want to make sure I build it somewhere where I know I have land as opposed to all the water that I know is under here. And I think there's even water under here. Let me look. Oh, nope, there's not water there. Cool. So basically what it's going to be is very simple. Let's look at the stuff we have. Ignore the gold. I killed a zombie pigman that was by the center of the world. Basically, we're just going to have a line of hoppers going into a double chest. The hoppers will be covered up with the magma blocks, and we'll just create a timer to push all the mobs, off where they spawning platforms into the trench, where all the goodies will be collected. Very simple. For the timer, I'm just gonna do the etho hopper timer. I'm gonna throw in a comparator decay circuit. I hope. I may have to look it up. Like, I have not looked. I glanced at one of my etho timers earlier today, but I'm going in blind. I want to see how well I can remember how to do any of this stuff and figure it out. It's going to be like 16 wide on the inside, so which means 16 by 7 essentially spawning platform. I've got the trap doors to hold the water in. We'll waterlog those, and the circuit will open and close those. So it'll be 7 times 16 will be the spawning platform. Not very big. It doesn't matter that much. We'll just get what we can get. Replace some of the sand with dirt, because I want it to be still somewhere in this location so I'm still getting the spawns in. I probably could do it on the other side, but I want to keep it towards the edge of the world where other things won't affect it. Whatever those other things may be, I don't know. These spawn rates, this is not going to be a great farm. I mean, the spawn rates are still going to be, oh, look at this, I must have killed an animal here recently. Spawn rates are still going to be affected by all these other mobs that are going to continue spawning out here, so it's no big deal. It's just something where what I have been doing is I'll AFK for however long it is. I'll come down here, I'll kill the pigs and the sheep and the chickens and the cows, so that way I can, more XP over here, that way I can sell it to my villagers in the trading hall. And quite frankly, they're far enough away, so as I wander around and kill the things, new ones spawn on the other side. Well, that's fine and all, but I could spend days collecting a bunch of stuff, and I'd rather just, have it collect itself while I'm up there. So let's fill this back in. So we're going to call this part of the arbitrarily the line. So will that be our corner? That should be our corner. So this is, if I want it 16, that'll be to this point. You know what else? I need to get some blocks. So let me do this. Let me get the blocks I want to build this out of. Set this up. I'm going to already change. I know what I'm going to change. I'm going to change what I had just said I was going to do. I want it off-centered on this end. But let me get the blocks out of, all the chests in that house or that house, do the outline of it, get the grass where I want it to be, and then we'll jump back in. Alright, so here's our spawning platform. Like I said, it's kind of small compared to the rest of the land around here. If you wanted to make this better, you'd go in and replace all the dirt that I've already placed with some other stone or whatever. Stone is probably a good choice. Anything that passive mobs don't spawn on, they spawn on grass, as far as I know. I'm pretty sure that's the case. And there's lots of grass out here. So yeah, are there better places to build this? Certainly, like in the middle of the desert, probably. And maybe we'll do that if we're working on the desert. But for right now, we're going to figure this out. So here's just got a 1 wide trench. So they're going to drop down 2 so they don't get out. Which means I have to go down 4 levels or 4 blocks total to get the hoppers and the chests down there. And then over here on this wall is where we'll have the trapdoors. Is that right? No, that's backwards. Over here on this wall is where I'll figure out how to do the trapdoors properly. Maybe. Do I do it like this and then do that? No, that's probably it. So if you do it just right, yeah. Except you gotta do, I opened it so I could make sure it worked, and that threw me off for the next one. Anyway, come on, come on, can't be on it. Well, how come it worked for that one? Anyway, whatever. Oh, you know why? Because I was still technically underneath it from when it closed. Boy, this game, let me tell you. Woof. Let's crouch down and do it this way. There we go. Well, till that. So yeah, these will be open, which means that the way that the water will work is that the signal has to be on, and the timer will turn it off briefly. So that is some of the fun parts I'll have to figure out. And saying that, it occurs to me I probably need to move this redstone or this glowstone to the block above. That's what these floating glowstone. Hi, pig. Yes. Wait your turn. You'll die soon. These floating glowstones are just above the spots where I torches. So however you light the space up, make sure you light it up. The reason I wanted to make it offset so that there's torches around is so we don't have the spawning spots. Unfortunately, based on the where I wanted to have the front, it lined up perfectly so the back row had torches on it. Could I have moved it up 1? Yes. Should I? Okay, yes. Will I? Yeah, let's go that. Let's do that. Why not? I just placed a bunch of blocks. We'll dig them out, put in new ones. So I'm going to do that, dig in my trench, put in my hoppers and my collection, what is that thing called? Chest down there, and I don't know, put some stairs down to it, and we'll jump into that part. Alright, so this has been moved over. I got my trench full of hoppers, and they lead over here to my little collection area, which is just a nice little double chest. Lights off to the side, you know, so it looks way fancier than it needs to. There's one lone zombie pigman has fallen down and has been just being hit by snowballs, which do not kill them at all, but it keeps them occupied. Give them something to do. So yeah, I've been here, die. There you go. I've been doing that periodically when they all collect here. So yeah, if you build that farm, don't worry about the snowman. Just make them drop farther. It is just still kind of funny to watch them do it, though. So let's get in the magma. Liquid hot magma. Okay, enough of that. Yikes. Okay, just checking to make sure that I put all the way to the end. I probably can do this from above, actually, but it's easier from the side. And you don't want to walk on it unless you're crouching. I put away all my blocks, because of course I did. Alright, let me get some stone blocks, fill that in, and then we need to work on the redstone. I played around a little bit and completely failed to get the things even open. So, you know, that's a good start. Once again, my poor red skills? Exactly. My poor redstone skills have come to haunt me. Well, anyway, doesn't matter. That's why I do these things, to try to learn more. Okay, now from now on, I don't want to fall in that trench. I have to get over to that trench. Oh, that's okay. I could do this. Because at some point, whenever I figure out how to turn these stupid things on, we'll put water over there and, you know, start the process rolling. So let me figure out how to turn these or open these things up, and then I'll figure out how to close them. Sounds good? Sounds good. Hey, guess what doesn't seem to work with this version? Yeah, they just flow right through. Fun. Alright, I might just have to use dispensers. Which means I have to go all the way back there and get some dispensers. And more buckets. Back to the drawing board. Okay, so I've got my dispensers in place, all the water in there. I got it set up. So yay, it flushes. Of course, right now it just, you know, always goes back and forth. So let's set up a timer out here somewhere and figure out how to do this. So I kind of want it on for a little bit, off for a lot of bit. Yeah, you can already see that there's so many mobs around this thing that there's not many spawning in there. Oh, good. Plus, that didn't actually get down there. This version really bothers me sometimes. Why does stuff not pick up through the hoppers or through the magma blocks? It's gonna want me to put in a rail line, isn't it? Or if not rail line, then individual minecart hoppers, hopper minecarts. Oh, bother. One of these days, I'm going to remember that stuff doesn't just fall through full blocks. You gotta have your hopper minecart. Is this going all the way over? It should be. Already this farm I can tell is not going to be efficient because everything around it is grass. If you want to build this, you want to make it efficient, either put it way up in the air, way down on the ground, or replace all the grass around you with some sort of non-spawnable block for passive mobs. Stone, maybe carpeting, I don't know. Just something else. But anyway, this will give you the idea of what to do. So what I did is obviously I moved I put scaffolding up and down. These things will tend to either disappear or stop running when you unload the chunks. So build this access shaft. I've got my hoppers just one level down from before. I moved the chest down one level too. It worked fine with my stairs, so that was good. Threw some rails on here, and there we go. I just got the redstone blocks on either end. So in addition to that, I also put in the hopper timer, and the torch here is what will run everything. Whenever it gets placed or taken away, turn on or off, all these will trigger. So the idea is I want to turn this signal. I just covered the hoppers here like I did back in the main base. It'll turn this signal, which you can see goes both sides. So every time it flips, it kind of blips. We want to turn that into a signal that will, like that. It'll a signal that will turn this torch off immediately, which will flood the space, and then turn it back on after a certain amount of time, which will suck the water back up. So that is the circuit we're going for. I have not looked up how to do this circuit. I probably should have, and I might have to. But as I said earlier, I'm trying to figure it out myself. This may be a little more advanced than what I'm prepared to get out of it, though. Because it's not just the delayed, it's the fact that I need a pulse through it once and then a pulse through it again. And a certain amount of time afterwards. That's not going to be the same. I don't want this just going back and forth and be always on. In fact, this one needs to be slowed down because I want a chance for stuff to spawn on here. As far as I can tell, nothing has yet. It's all around it. What I'm going to do before we really try to test it is kill all these passive mobs around here. Maybe not the turtles, but definitely the cows, chickens, pigs, sheep. Well, there's a lot of passive mobs. Another thing I could have done, if you want to do this, something similar, you can do this too. Make it bigger. Take up all this space. Whatever. It'll work. So yeah, I'm going to play around with this a little bit and see what I can come up with. Alright. Well, that's convenient. Let's see if it's long enough. No, it needs to be longer. Alright, well, there's another improvement right to the farm. They'll just wander in and get killed. What? You can't float? Okay, I might want to put a little bit of a wall on the outside. I just want to see if this thing's actually going to do it. Luckily, my timer's so quick. Nope, it's floating. Okay, we'll worry about that later. So I did end up looking up the circuit I was trying to do, and I couldn't figure it out at all. So expect future improvements. For right now, if you can see what it's... my timer is actually fairly quick. What it's doing is the first signal is going through the short path. Turns it off. Yeah, I see you looking at me. Go die. And then these other repeaters... extend the length of the signal so it comes back around. This repeater over here, at first I just put in so that this signal wouldn't go back and just create a loop. But I needed to put 1 tick of delay on it in order to get this thing to trigger at all. Okay, I'm going to go build a wall. This is really ridiculous. He just wandered off. So apparently, here, go away. I need to remember where blocks are. This will be temporary. Okay. So apparently I need to build a wall there. I'll probably put in some glass blocks so I can, watch the mayhem. I like this added feature of them just walking into their doom. That's pretty nice. 1, 2, 3. Hey, and I can put my light back. So I need to extend this out, obviously, because the water needs to be turned on a little bit more. A little bit longer. But other than that, I mean, yeah, cool. It's working. I wonder if they'll wander in this direction. Maybe I won't put a glass wall. Sheep are naturally curious. So are cows. Alright, so everything I've said before still stands. They're all going to spawn outside of here. But you know what? Having this little block so they just wander in, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Definitely leave the top of this open. I'm going to extend the length here so it gives them some time to actually spawn in here. Or wander in here, whatever. And I'll extend the length of this pulse. And in the future, if I figure out a way to make it better, or if someone wants to comment and point me in the right direction, I know there's a smarter way of doing this. Heck, you know what? Hit me up on Twitter with pictures or videos or something. I'm at Start an Argument. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see why. At any rate, I think that's good enough for today. I'm quite impressed that that took me less hours than I thought. And quite frankly, repeaters are cheaper than comparators. So, cool. As always, like, comment, subscribe. What happened to my zombie pigmen? Did they die? I'll see everyone later. Okay, so I actually figured it out thanks to a video by IBLT. If you see, turns it on, washes away, and then shortly should turn it back off. There we go. Nice and neat. And all it took was, well, another etho timer. Oh, this is pretty amazing. So this signal actually locks this one. It turns it off temporarily. So when this switches, the blink turns it back on and allows this to move over and the items to drain. You can see they're just kind of sitting there. And then we've got the lovely observer, which, you know, goes off every time this switches. So that this timer fires, flips this one so it turns on. This one, the observer fires to turn on the water. Then when those hoppers or that hopper drains, it flips back. The observer gets fired again and it turns it off. I've got it. Yeah, see, there it goes again. So I've got a stack of 32 stone blocks in this one, and I think I got 3 full stacks in this one, which seems to give me fairly decent timings. And it's kind of funny looking. This could be more compact if I did the, you know, the stack them by 2, but I like this because it's all on the one level. It's easier to use. There's no going up and down. And with all of my trial and error and trying to figure stuff out, you know, I don't have many things. I got a few things. I collected a few stuffs. But what I did, you may have noticed, is, so we already had that one block. I put these 2 blocks on either end to kind of encourage mobs to just kind of wander in and fall. So that works. Awesome. If you found a better way, still let me know. I'll talk to everyone later.